Big ones today. Penn State, where top prospect Abdul Carter is present, but not working out with that shoulder injury and the stress reaction in his right foot. Also today, Ole Miss, where quarterback Jackson Dart looks to impress NFL scouts and move up those draft boards. Could he find his way to a top 10 pick? As we welcome you all into NFL Live on a Friday, we have Mina Kimes, we have Ryan Clark, we have Jeremy Fowler, we have Matt Miller. It's a full house and lots to get to. Let's start with Carter, who is spending time with the teams at the top of the draft. He had dinner with Browns owner Jimmy Haslam and GM Andrew Berry last night. Going to meet with the Giants as well at State College. Now, as agent Drew Rosenhaus said, he may work out for teams down the line. During medical testing at the Combine, it was that foot stress reaction that was revealed. He opted out of surgery, was recently cleared to resume training. Brooke Pryor caught up with Carter today.
How difficult was it to make the decision to not work out here, especially after seeing guys your whole career come through and have their pro days?
Yeah, it was definitely my intention to come out here and compete, work out with my guys. But just talking to my team, making sure we're making the best decision for me. Wasn't able to work out, but I'm out here supporting my guys, so it's all good for me.
I know at the Combine you made your pitch that you should be the #1 pick overall.
Yes,
it's been a month. What's your pitch now? Why should you be picked over a quarterback?
Yeah, I'm still confident #1. I feel like my impact on the game, I can impact the game just as much as a quarterback, if not more. Just look out throughout the history of the NFL. All the great teams who won Super Bowls had that great standout defensive player or defensive team overall, and I feel like I could be a help to that. A defensive player who can take over a game, especially when you need me the most.
Did you give that pitch to the Browns last night at dinner?
Oh, yeah, they know what I bring. That's why they out here supporting me, come out to see me. They know what I can bring to the table.
Yeah, well, this is what he brings to the table. It's a lot. A surefire pick. A force at Penn State. 23.5 tackles for loss. That led the nation. He ranked 3rd in pressure rate. He also had 9 games with multiple sacks. That was the most by any Big Ten player over the last 5 seasons. He had 12 sacks overall, ranking 7th in FBS. So let's bring in our draft analyst, Matt Miller, who has Carter going 2nd overall to the aforementioned Browns in your mock. Any concerns at all if he can't work out for teams before the draft?
No, Hannah, I'm not worried at all. I know Carter said today at his pro day that he's 100% from the shoulder injury. This is just a precaution, and he's proven it over the last 3 years at Penn State. The tape speaks for itself, and hearing today that he's 100%, that makes you feel good as a team that you're not going to have a surgery after the draft or when you get into training camp that would maybe delay the start. And we would have seen something come out of the NFL Scouting Combine where he did medicals. We would have known, hey, the shoulder or the foot injury are more serious than it looks. But I think it's a very telling aspect of the pre-draft process. Abdul Carter's only meeting with 4 teams. The Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants, the New England Patriots. Those are the teams that have picks 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the first round of the NFL draft. So he obviously feels very comfortable and confident that he'll be drafted in the first 4 picks, as he should be, because I do think he's the best player in this draft. And he said it great. A pass rusher can impact the game in so many ways. He showed that even when hurt. If you go back to the bowl game against Notre Dame, he took over that game with one shoulder. So, guys, I don't have any concerns at all.
Yeah, Matt said the tape speaks for itself. I'll describe the experience of watching his tape. He wins so quickly that you constantly have to rewind and slow it down to try to see how did he win so quickly, because he does it with his first step, which is explosive. He's got such a nasty stutter step. His footwork is tremendous. He has speed. He has bend. He has power. He has a great pass rush plan that I think is going to continue developing in the NFL. The only questions I have about him, aside from the health ones, are really just size related. And I think that would probably be the only thing that separates him from maybe some of the truly elite edge prospects of the last decade or so. But make no mistake, this is the best pass rusher in the draft. He is arguably the best player in the draft. Any team of those top 4 would be lucky to have him.
Yeah, can you imagine him paired with Myles Garrett? In the meantime, the Browns star weighed in on Cleveland's quarterback situation.
Any team that's going to go far needs a quarterback and one that's young, can learn, is willing to be patient with the process. And there's going to be some bumps in the road. It's going to be some learning pains, but us as a team, as an organization, has to be able to be a landing pad for him, to fall back on, and being able to be on the defensive side and help him out whenever things go wrong.
Okay, not for nothing, but I really like his jacket. He looks really sharp there.
$40 million a year will get you a good jacket.
There you go. You can get some good threads for that. What's their plan? Let's say they don't get a quarterback in the draft. What is Cleveland thinking in that regard?
Well, they've already been looking at veterans, Hannah. They were all in on Russell Wilson. They tried to sign him, didn't work out. He went to the Giants, so they will pivot. They would consider Kirk Cousins a viable option. Right now, he is not available. So the Browns can find out in the next 4 or 5 weeks to see if Atlanta will relent and eventually trade him. They could wait until after the draft to do so, and Cousins has a no-trade clause. So a lot going on with that, but people around the league are still eyeing that potential marriage. Cousins and Kevin Stefanski have a history. They go well together. Carson Wentz is on their radar, too, as a contingency plan. So those are two veterans they're at least looking at.
Right, they have Kenny Pickett. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is out. All right, let's move on to a new face in a new place, and it's a very well-known one. Stefon Diggs officially introduced by his new team, the Patriots, today in Foxborough. Here's what he had to say this afternoon.
I definitely look forward to getting back on track. Young quarterback, a good team, a lot of pieces being added, everything trucking in the right direction, something that I wanted to be a part of. And I feel like I can be helpful as far as the development with the receivers and, everybody involved. And for me personally, get back out there and get active. I just want to, put my talents to use. But definitely, I thought about it, all that factored in going in and making my decision.
Yeah, coming off the ACL injury. So, RC, we have Josh McDaniels back for the third time as the OC there in New England. How do you like this fit with Diggs?
I like the fit because we've seen over Josh McDaniels' time in New England as the offensive coordinator how important the slot position is. And when you go back to last year and what Stefon Diggs was able to do for C.J. Stroud was work well in the slot, work well in between the numbers, and he was huge on third down. And also I think he could be big for Drake May in the red zone. I love the way they talked about his leadership in Houston. A second-year quarterback in C.J. Stroud, now a second-year quarterback in Drake May. A young wide receiver room that needs a veteran presence and understands how to talk to people in that room, get them to understand what they need to do offensively, but also grow individually at the position. I think this is a great fit for Stefon Diggs, and if he comes back healthy from that ACL injury, an upgrade over everything they had in that room last year.
Yeah, to put that in perspective, what you're describing in terms of the upgrade, through just half of the season, Stefon Diggs had as many first downs as any Patriots receiver over the course of an entire season last year. This was a much-needed veteran addition. And to RC's point, if he's anything like he was in Houston, it should be a really successful one because he was quite good last year. Ryan talked about the inside-outside versatility. The route running is his calling card. He still gets open. He's got reliable hands. He's an excellent chains mover for C.J. Stroud. Gives him the sort of reliable short and intermediate target that Drake May so desperately needs. Now, this does not stop them from continuing to add a receiver. It should not stop them. They still need size. They still need speed. But I think going into this draft without adding a veteran would have been a disservice to Drake May, so I'm really happy that they did it.
Yeah, those young receivers in Houston spoke very, very highly of him.
Yes, they
okay,
did.
So yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, RC. Matt, so we have the 4th overall pick here. Really interesting. What's the best scenario for them in terms of bolstering that offense?